I'm joined by Alison Sargent. Hi, Alison. Starting in the US and talk of storms past and present.
Right, the present storm being Hurricane Florence, which is now battering the southeast coast of the United States. We can take a look at a cartoon of Donald Trump preparing for this storm. This is from the California paper, the Sacramento Bee. The president there is warning it's going to be tremendously wet. Try these paper towels. Now, that is a reference to when Donald Trump famously threw paper towels into a crowd in Puerto Rico following Hurricane Maria. Hurricane Florence has thrust his administration's response to Hurricane Maria back into the spotlight. It's come under a lot of criticism as the death toll for Maria has continued to be revised, now at nearly 3,000 people, although some estimates even put it at more. On Thursday, Donald Trump added fuel to this fire, to the criticism by denying that death toll. He blamed it on Democrats manipulating the numbers. As we see here in this cartoon behind me from one local New York paper, Newsday, Donald Trump is saying, "Some folks will go to extraordinary lengths to make me look bad." And we can see that cemetery behind next to him. It's worth mentioning, actually, that even Fox News, which is usually very supportive of the president, well, even they have criticized Donald Trump for questioning that death toll.
He's getting a little bit more credit this time around, however.
That's right, from at least sort of credit, I guess you could say. If we take a look at this article from the Daily Beast, they're not necessarily defending Donald Trump, but they are explaining that he's really concerned that this next hurricane does not turn into a disaster. Although the reason that he cares, according to the Daily Beast, which is a left-wing publication, is that he doesn't want it to turn into a Hurricane Katrina moment. That's a reference to President Bush's response to Hurricane Katrina back in 2005, which really came back to haunt his presidency. The Daily Beast writes about a particular moment when Bush flew over New Orleans in Air Force One, looking down at the devastation, and was really perceived to be looking very indifferent to all of the devastation he was seeing. So with this in mind, the Daily Beast says that Trump's revision of the death toll in Puerto Rico was really an effort for him to save his own image. It's just severely backfired.
OK, we're going to head to France next, and a key admission, really, from the President Emmanuel Macron for the first time, admitting some of France's crimes during Algeria's struggle for independence. There's that, and a lot of the attention centering on this figure, Maurice Audin.
That's right. We've been talking quite a lot about Maurice Audin since yesterday, so some of our viewers might know a little bit about him now. He was a pro-Algerian independence activist and assistant math professor who was arrested and tortured by French authorities back in 1957. That torture did lead to his death. You can see a photo of him here on the front page of L'Humanité today. They have one word in their headline there, enfin, finally. France's communist paper is in particularly celebrating this admission that the French government was responsible for his death because Audin was also a communist. The communists were very big supporters of the independence movement. Papers here in France have been hailing generally this move by Macron as historic, and he's being praised in Algeria papers as well today. The paper Al Watan is riffing on Emmanuel Macron's party name, La République en Marche, with this headline there, La Vérité en Marche, which basically means truth is on the move or in the works.
So obviously, France's part in Algeria continues to be controversial and emotive. A sense, perhaps, that they are starting to turn the page.
Right, especially because Macron has expressed willingness even before this to kind of address France's colonial legacy in Algeria. He's also the first president to be born after the Algerian War. France's right-wing paper Le Figaro does have some criticism of this effort to offer today, though, or rather some nuance. They write that the violence happened on the other side as well. Europeans and Muslims who were loyal to France, well, they were also tortured. And the paper says that, if France is going to confront the crimes of the past, well, they're going to have to do it on all sides.
Meanwhile, on a lighter note, the other side of Emmanuel Macron.
That's right. The Elysée Palace has announced the launch of a new line of merchandise. Starting this weekend, Chris, you will be able to pick up your very own Elysée mug, t-shirt, tote bag, even a watch, as we see some of these goodies pictured here in Le Parisien. This money is going to be used to fund the restoration efforts of the Elysée. In fact, this product launch this weekend corresponds with an event here in France known as Les Journées du Patrimoine, which is where a number of France's heritage sites are opened up to the public when they aren't usually open to visitors. Selling merchandise has drawn some criticism, though, basically for being tacky. One historian asked Le Parisien, can you imagine Charles de Gaulle selling mugs?
And finally, another story here in France, which has made headlines in a few papers about kind of embarrassingly botched marketing campaign for for an art school in Lyon.
That's right. This is a story that has sort of been churning around on social media for much of the week, but it's finally gotten the attention of major newspapers, so we can read about it here in The Guardian. This is about an art college in Lyon that's opening an American campus, and in order to broaden the appeal to American students, well, the school's PR firm decided to Photoshop a class photo, which is what you see behind me, the original, the Photoshop version and the original version. They darkened the skin of several white students to make it appear as if there were more black students at the school. The school did say it wasn't their fault, that it was the American PR firm that they hired that was behind this, which sort of makes sense when you consider that a lot of U.S. schools do try and promote diversity, even when it's virtually non-existent. The school did end up apologizing, though, but not before it's caused a stir on social media. I pulled out one tweet for you where you can see kind of a closer-up image of the change that was made to that photo. This girl says, "I can't believe that it could be this bad."
Oh dear. Alison Sargent, thanks very much. For more on our press review and indeed the rest of the news, you can check out our website, france24.com.